Hello and welcome. How many times have you had withdrawals from wanting to go on Toy Story Mania in Hollywood Studios and you haven't been able to? This is my game! How are you beating me? This is my game! Well, that all changes now because you can play the game at home.
Get ready for the ultimate in 3D family fun with Toy Story Mania, now on Wii.
Toy Story Mania was developed by Disney Interactive in 2009 for the Wii console and then later on PC, Xbox 360, and PlayStation 3 respectively.
According to Wikipedia, the PC version was only exclusive to Europe, but I was able to purchase it on Steam, so it's available in the US market now.
If you gotten to go on the ride, you've played half of this game already, but there's still a great selection of additional mini games as well.
All clear. We are all clear. Sir, yes, sir.
Okay, all right, come on, everybody. Whoa.
Ah, there's so many pieces.
Actually, there are over 2,327 parts in here.
To infinity and beyond.
Howdy, hey!
It's playtime!
And before we get into the game, I gotta point out the super cute hidden Mickey Easter egg in the title screen. There's 3 different areas you can choose from besides options: story, free play, and prizes. Naturally, I chose free play first, but quickly learned that you can't access any of the games outside of the practice tutorial until you play the story mode.
Welcome to the practice game.
Try throwing some pies.
This is literally pulled out of the ride, so if you've been on the ride, you've played this before. The story mode is where all the games are located, obviously. The first area is a mixture of all the different theme games and also basically an exact replica of the ride itself. And a few unique mini games mixed into the game time and without all the fun ride elements.
I really miss getting blasted with air when hitting the gold plates.
You start out once again with the Pie Shoot tutorial practice game, and then after that, it's the Tossed in Space Ring Toss Alien game.
Oh, all of the flying discs are totally grateful.
One added difference from the ride gameplay to this game is there's multiple objectives to complete with each minigame presented. The goal is to complete all the objectives in order to win the game to keep and play in the free play area.
There are some games that are almost impossible to beat fully, but I'll explain why when we get there. You can still get access though by earning tickets and then cashing them in for each of the games.
The next game on the list is Bo Peep's Balloon Pop, and it's a cute addition that's not a part of the original ride, followed by this teacup switch where you follow which cup holds the chocolate coin. Next up after is the Rootin' Tootin' Shootin', and it's a ride game again.
Honestly, I love these games so much and it gave me so much happiness to play all of these.
Woody's Gold Rush is a skee ball game.
It's literally skee ball in a Western setting.
But it's cute. Highly still enjoyed this one. I love skee ball normally though, so I'm a bit biased. Ham and Eggs and Green Army Men Shoot Camp are both more of the classic ride shooting games again. You don't know how this unlocked a memory for me. The next minigame is called Minefield Maze.
Back in the olden days of the computer, we had these mine rolling games that you were able to play. And I don't think they're really common anymore, but in early on CGI gaming, these were so popular and so common. And I remember always having a version of these type of games, and I would always play the analog version of them too, the real life board games of them as well growing up. So it's something that I never really thought about, but just seeing it, like I said, unlocked a memory for me. It's not my favorite game, especially because when you advance through the difficulties, it does get a lot harder, but it just made me so happy being able to remember about this. And I'm curious too if this was a game that y'all remembered as well on its own, separate from this series.
Finally, we end with the finale of the ride, Mine Car Splunk, and this is so much fun.
Woo! You are fast.
And yes, my finger was in distress because I was clicking it as hard as I could, just like when you're going on the ride and going as fast as you can.
And just like at the end of the ride, you get your high score, but also tickets to use for prizes.
Okay, but imagine if you got prizes at the end of the ride. I know that would cause chaos because everyone would want anything, but it would be adorable if you got a certain score and then got to redeem stickers. I know it would be too immersive for Disney, and I know right now Disney is all about cost cutting, so it would never happen, but dreams. Anyways, let's talk about what you get with the tickets in the game.
Like I mentioned before, you can cash in the tickets for more unlocked games, and you can also unlock all the 3D games, which is adorable.
But I couldn't get it to work with my glasses, and yes, I have the official ones. So I tried using these, and I couldn't get them to work, but I also do have a curved computer screen, so I am curious if that did affect it, and I am really curious if I would be able to get it to work with the Wii console instead. But it's still such a great idea, and I'm all for it, and I love the 3D inclusion, even if I could not enjoy it.
You can also get stickers and pages for different scenes to use in a sticker album, which is a cute little side decoration quest in the game as well. Now for the main complaint of this game. At the end of every game, there's an area that tells you to wave your mouse for points.
It doesn't work. It does not work. No matter how many times I tried it, because every single game had it, and I was constantly waving my mouse as fast and hard as I could, and it wouldn't go. And that literally killed the progress that I was trying to make on half of these games.
I know this feature was imported over from the Wii, and it makes a lot more sense to use with those controllers. It would be fun to revisit this in the future on that console to see how different it is from this PC edition. After going through the main story game, then you get access to the rest of the theme tents, all focused on each of the toys' backgrounds. So let's do a quick breakdown of all the rest of these games. Each game starts out with the classic ride shooting game, and then they break into these little unique mini games that differ, and since we've already covered a couple of each of the games throughout the main story, I won't repeat talking about those. Starting with the army games, we have Green Army Plate Break, which is just a different alternative to the shooting game featured in the ride. Army Air Raid, which is a classic milk bottle boardwalk style game where you knock down blocks. Army Skeet Shoot, which is one more alternative to the shooting game, but this time all the plates are being thrown across the air. It's very chaotic, but a lot of fun to just click away at all the different targets. Next is Bo Peep's Tea Party games. Butterfly Picnic is your classic brick breaker game. Normally I like playing this game, but I hated these sound effects. The ball rolling felt similar to a scratching on the chalkboard, and it seriously took me out from enjoying it. If it had better sounds, I would have enjoyed playing it a lot more, but instead, it's now one of my least favorite games on here. Bo Peep's Pop Party is another alternative shooting game.
Can you see a pattern?
Frog Hop is another classic boardwalk game. You fling the frogs into the cups. It's cute, but not something I would get excited to play again. Hot Air Balloon Show is yet another shooting game, but for some reason the controls were horrendous, so this was one of the worst games, but ironically, not the most unplayable one. Instead, that goes to Gone Fishing.
This game is also a classic boardwalk game where you're supposed to fish for the fish and lift them up and capture them. However, it requires the movement of the mouse. And as we mentioned previously, it doesn't work. So this game is completely unplayable no matter what you do. And this is also where I go back and reference the Wii again, because it makes sense. You would shake it, and the Wii controller is all about that movement. But it doesn't work with a PC mouse. It should work, but it wouldn't work. And therefore, we cannot rate this game.
That game is featured in Ham's Animal Games, and besides the previous shooting games, the other new minigame that hasn't been covered is Dino-Rama, which is yet another alternative shooting game. But I really like this one, and the dinosaurs are really cute.
You can never have enough dinosaurs. Dino-Land USA.
The last two areas are Western and Space. In Western, we have one more completely unplayable game with Woody's Lasso Trick Ropin'.
Hey, try this one.
Once again, you needed the mouse to move this. So therefore, once again, it wouldn't work and it wouldn't play, and once again, it probably is a lot better on the Wii.
Besides that one, we have another awful game, Jesse's Sarsaparilla Slide, where you have to throw cherries on top of the drinks across the moving platform.
Again, this comes down to the controls being completely horrendous, and another game that might work better on a Wii Remote.
In the space area, we have Tossed in Deep Space, another alternative ring toss shooting game. Space Hoops. It's basketball but played in more of a skee ball style fashion with the rings. And Flying Disc in Space. Yet another alternative ring toss shooting game.
All in all, I really, really love this game for the most part. Most of the games are the classic ride that you know and love, so it fills you with so much happiness. I love playing it. This is something that I'm so happy I found, and I feel like it's criminally underrated. I really wish that they would remaster it and release it on the Switch, especially because the Switch does have the controller similar to the Wii, and I think this would be great for people to enjoy and play, especially because the ride is still so beloved, which is great. It's definitely one of my favorite rides at Hollywood Studios, and I love that you get the gameplay from the ride at home. It really helps if you're having any Disney withdrawals, and it really helps you be able to enjoy some of the ride in your own home. Obviously, not all the games are perfect. Obviously, there are some mini games that I cannot stand, but the main games, the shooting games, are what it's worth. And it really is such a fantastic playthrough that you could just turn on in any afternoon where you just want to hang out and chill and just go for a couple of rounds. It's such a more calm experience to enjoy, and it's just such a fun game. It's such a fun, cozy, casual game that has so much replayability to it because it is more of a boardwalk, casual, carny game. I think too, again, on a different console, I'd love to revisit it to see the differences. And I feel like on a different console, it would work a lot better than the PC version that I played, because you probably do have the multiplayer ability that I didn't have with the PC. And that adds more competition to it as well. Underrated for sure. This is one of my favorite games I played all year out of all the Disney games. And I'm really excited to be able to return to this. I definitely will be playing this a lot in my free time, just on and off, because it is so much fun. And like I said, anytime I have a Disney withdrawal, at least I can go back to this and pretend that I'm in Hollywood Studios for an hour or so enjoying the ride. I just have nothing but mostly positive things to say about it. The negatives are mainly because of the fact that I can't get all the controls to work, and that's more technical instead of the lack of gameplay. But until then, as always, I hope you have a magical day, and I will see you real soon.